Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. I am Adrielle, and I am currently narrating the story of my life dating back from January 2016. Last episode, I narrated the month of January 2018. And this episode, I'm going to talk about February. So here it goes. February 2018. Um, February 2018. Okay. Trying to think back. At this point, I still do not have my car in New Jersey. I am telling my parents, please send my car. They keep saying they're going to send it. They haven't sent my car. February 1st of 2018, I get a text from mutual friend in our group chat. So me, mutual friend, and Crystal, we all had a group chat. I see the message while I'm in class. I do not respond because Crystal's gonna see my response, and I decide I'm no longer gonna be friends with Crystal. So there's no point of me leaving a response on the group chat. So later on in the evening, she messaged me private, like, "Hey, what's going on?" I said, "Oh yeah, like I was busy. I was busy. I wasn't busy. But she says, hey, she's coming into town. So that's when I knew she was coming into town. Not in the group chat. She told me she was coming into town and she wants us to link up, blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, let me know what the plan is and everything. Now in my head, I'm thinking, I hope we're not all linking up together because I'm not friends with Crystal anymore. But I'm just like, hey, just let me know. February 2nd. That was a Friday. Mutual friend texts me that she wants us to meet up at a restaurant and that her friend that she's staying with will pick me up at my apartment in Brownstone. Now, for the sake of this story, we're going to name her friend Ruth. Ruth is a new character I'm introducing to the story. So she's staying with her friend Ruth, and she's gonna come and pick me up from Brownstone. They come and pick me up from Brownstone. I said, "Hey, oh my goodness, it's your friend." And then I look at Ruth. I was like, "Hey, are you such and such?" I say a particular name. And the reason why I said that is because Ruth seemed familiar. I feel like I've seen Ruth on mutual friends Instagram before. So I say, "Hey, is this your name?" And she was like, "Oh no, that's not my name. I know who you're talking about, but that's not me." She introduces herself and everything. I'm like, cool. Okay, cool. So we go to a restaurant here in Atlanta. We get there and we're talking. We're just talking. I'm getting to know Ruth. Ruth goes to Georgia State like me. I'm like, oh, that's cool. You know, she goes to Georgia State. She is in a different program. She's in the master's program, but a different field. So we're just talking about Georgia State. And then she tells me about her friend who's in the same field as her, but is in the PhD program. So she starts telling me, and as she starts telling me about the friend, I'm thinking to myself, why do I feel like she's talking about Esther? Because Esther is in her field, but Esther is in the PhD program. And she's telling me she has a friend that's in her field that's in the PhD program. I'm like, yo, I feel like she's talking about Esther. And then I say to her, I'm like, hey, the friend that you're talking about, is her name Esther? She was like, yeah. And then I brought up my phone, showed her a picture. Is this her? She's like, yes, this is her. I was like, oh my goodness, I know her. She's like, you know Esther? Like, yes. I was like, oh. So I'm like, yeah, I know Esther. I met her in grad groups. I said, yo, we went to the Hawks game back in December, like we're cool and everything. So it's like, yeah, they're cool and they're friends and stuff like that. So we're just talking. And we're just all just talking, all just, I'm just getting to know, Ruth, and just the vibe just seems good. Mutual friend because she's sitting next to me. She looks to me. She says, "Are you and Crystal good?" Now I'm surprised. Mutual friend is asking me about Crystal because she never asked me about Crystal. So I'm like, "Oh, Crystal told her something." So I'm like, "Yeah. Why do you ask? Are you guys cool? Like, you sure you're good?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What did Crystal say?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're cool." Like, why are you asking? She said, "Oh, like you haven't called her." Like she said, you haven't called her. I'm like, but she has my number. If she wants to talk to me, she can call me. But this is someone you used to talk to every day. How do you not talk to her every day? How do you know that? What is Crystal telling this girl? What is Crystal telling her? Listen, if she wants to talk to me, she can call me. Like. And so I'm like, yo, what is Crystal talking about? Anyways, I'm like, I don't have time for her. I don't have time for Crystal and her shenanigans. I don't got time. I said, I'm not gonna be her friend anymore. Ugh. Well, I didn't tell her I wasn't gonna be her friend, but she should leave me alone. We finished at the restaurant. Ruth tells me, hey, yo, there's a Walmart down the street. Why don't you go grocery shopping because you don't have your car here? I was like, oh, I don't want to, Bernie. She said, no, like, we can just go down the street. Like, it's no problem. So we went down the street, and it was actually a good thing that I went grocery shopping because I haven't gone grocery shopping in a while. So she was like, "Yeah, like it's fine. Like I understand. Like I remember when I didn't have a car, it was hard. So yeah, just go grocery shopping, do and get whatever you need to get." So we all exchanged numbers. They dropped me off after the grocery shopping at my apartment, and everything just seemed good. So I have Ruth's number now. So I can get in contact with her whenever I want to. I can, whatever. And I know that she knows Esther. So it just seems right. Now, what I didn't mention in the month of January was at night when I would pray, I would cry to God to send me friends. Like I did. I was really hurt by the Crystal situation that I'm like, God, just send me good people. Just send me friends. I'm in this new city. I don't know anybody. Just please send me friends. Send me good people. So, meeting Esther in December, now meeting Ruth, and the vibe, excuse me, the vibe just feels so good. I'm like, man, maybe this is it. Maybe this is it. So, school. I'm on top of my schoolwork. It's a lot. My human resource class, we have to read like 5 to 7 articles a week. I'm just going in on the articles. I'm reading everything. I'm making sure nothing is left behind. It's a lot of work, but I'm said I'm dedicated because I really want to do good. And not only that, I am on top of my devotion. Now, at this point of my devotion, I am reading the book of Psalms. Yes, I was, and I feel like now looking back, I was led to read Psalms. And as I was reading the book of Psalms, I remember hearing from the Lord to, after you read a chapter, think about what you took away from what you read. I'm paraphrasing, but basically saying, think about what you like, read the chapter and think about what you took away from what you got from reading that chapter. So that was what I would do. So I would read the chapter, meditate on it, and think about what I got out of that chapter. Now, what I didn't know what God was doing was He was teaching me to study the Word. I look back in 2016, I was reading the Bible, but I was reading the Bible like, okay, I want to know. I wasn't studying the Word. But this time, He was ushering me into studying the Word, His Word, into studying the Bible. So as I'm reading the chapters, I'm meditating on it and thinking what I'm taking away from it. I'm reading it. I'm like, oh my goodness, David was depressed. David was depressed. Every time we talk about David, oh, he was a mighty man, a man after God's own heart. This man was depressed. I was going through anxiety. Well, at the time I didn't know I was going through anxiety, but I was going through a lot the semester before, and I was thinking something was wrong with me, you know, but it's normal. Like it happens to people. Even the men of God that God uses, they go through stuff too. Women of God that God uses, they go through stuff too. So I was just meditating on that, and I'm like, wow. So I'm in good company. But I was just thinking, like, wow, like it's part of it happens. Like you're gonna go through trials, you're gonna go through depression, you're gonna go through this, you know. But David never wavered when it came to God. He told God, like, I want my enemies to die. I want them to die. Like, Lord, why have you forgotten me? But he never wavered. He never for once wavered or just felt like I have to leave God because I'm going through this depressive state. It was just such a great thing to learn at that time in my life, and for God to do that in me at that season. So yeah, that was how my devotion, like, it was feeling really good at that point. Also, another thing, after devotion, I would pray, and I would pray for Crystal. I'll pray for Crystal and I would pray for her family. And the reason why I was doing that was because I felt like the more I prayed for her, the more I would forget about the situation. The more I would feel less hurt about the situation. The more I would feel less bothered by it. Because to be honest, I was hurt. I was hurt. Crystal hurt me. She did. She hurt me. For her to call me her friend and treat me basically like trash, I was hurt by that. I was hurt. So my mindset was keep praying for her, keep praying for her. The more I pray, the more I don't feel this pain anymore. And I was doing that. School. I have I have a midterm coming up with one of my classes, human resource markets class. I said I am ready. Now at this time too, I noticed that I really didn't have a structure for my studying. I was just studying inside my apartment. I said I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to the library. So I would go to the university's library. I went from the university library to the College of Law library. So Georgia State has a library for the university and the College of Law library. And that was actually recommended for me by Esther because she said it's just quiet, you get to concentrate and everything. So and it is really quiet. So I would go to the College of Law library and just study all the time. And so yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'm prepping for this for this midterm because I'm finna get 100. I'm gonna get 100. So yeah, so that's really for the month of February. I'm up. I'm up on my devotion. I'm up with my schoolwork. Another thing I want to mention was growing up. I didn't have the best of teeth, and I was very insecure about that. Now, at this point, I believe my insecurities had went away. But I've always wanted braces because I wanted to fix my teeth. So I told God February 2018, and I was telling myself to that I am getting braces this year. Even if it's December 2018, even if it's December 31st, 2018, I do not care. 2018, I am getting braces. I need to do something about my teeth. I need to fix it. And not only that, it was also affecting my speech in the sense of my tongue was never relaxed anytime I was talking. So I said I am getting braces this year. And that was pretty much it for the month of February. Yeah, so until next time, listen, tune in. Tune in. Bye.